Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Yasoda Nandana Vajjana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Vajjana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasoda Nandana Vajjana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Vajjana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Asatara Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Gaudiya Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Brahmsakaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasari Gauda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinatha Shamkund Radhakund Giri Govardhana Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. And all glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So I will be reading from the Bhagavad Gita, the 9th chapter, the 22nd verse. I can assure everyone tonight that if we all follow the teaching that I'm going to be reading and also elaborating upon, you'll have nothing to fear for the rest of your life. It's true. All you have to do is follow these particulars here. And what Srila Prabhupada has done, and what I'm going to do with my voice, is simply put everyone in touch with the most powerful person in the universe, and to show us how we can obtain, how we can or attain His merciful protection. And it's already there, but He's just holding it back and waiting for us to ask Him for it. He simply wants us to desire it. And when we desire it in a mood of appreciation and gratitude, He's ready, willing, able to give it to us. So this is a time of desperation. So many problems come into our lives, into this world, and sometimes they can be solved quickly, and sometimes it takes a long time, and sometimes they seem like they're insoluble. However, with the grace, excuse me, we could have no talking. That would be greatly appreciated, because there are others in the room. Okay, so I'll begin. Some of us may know these particular verses, and if you do, then we'll have a few moments for everyone in the all of our members to chant them. Let me chant them first. Again, it's Bhagavad Gita 9:22 for those of you who have your little cell phones or happen to have your smartphones, and you know how to get onto the Veda base. You can get it immediately there. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Would any one of us like to chant the verse? You can please do so right now. Go ahead. Ananyas chantayano mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Anyas chintayanto mam tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Chintayanto mam yetanata shipasate Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Now, remember, this is taking place on a battlefield. And Arjuna had some questions at the very beginning, before the battle even started. And he was in a state of anxiety. And he said to Krishna, now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure due to miserly weakness. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So that's where we find this. So Krishna is, in the course of about an hour's time, answering numerous questions that Arjuna has. And one of those has to do with what I'm speaking about tonight, which is how to become fearless on a battlefield when arrows are literally raging all around you. And you're seeing hundreds of people dying all around. How can you be fearless? So Krishna is telling us the secret. Translation: but those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack, and I preserve what they have. Let's do this together. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack, and I preserve what they have. So that's a guarantee there. But all we have to do is worship Krishna with exclusive devotion. Now, we all know what the meaning of the word exclusive means. It means he gets it all. Yeah, he gets it all. He's a very jealous person. Jealous in the sense that he wants all your worship, because if you give him all, he'll give you all of himself. And if you get all of himself, you're getting a lot. And I mean a lot, because it's uncountable and it's amazing. So, again, I'll repeat that translation. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. The purport or the commentary. One who is unable to live for a moment without Krishna consciousness cannot but think of Krishna 24 hours a day, being engaged in devotional service by hearing, chanting, remembering, offering prayers, worshiping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, rendering other services, cultivating friendship with the Lord, and surrendering fully to the Lord. These are activities which are considered devotional activities. They're devotional in the sense that they connect us, they relate us, they unite us with Krishna. Okay? And that is truly the real goal of life. To regain or to regain our original unity or relationship with the Supreme Lord. We are out of whack or out of sync in that relationship presently. We can again regain it or resume it. And that is what this whole International Society for Krishna Consciousness is about. To show us how we can regain, or revive is even a better word. To revive means that we already have it in dormant form. And the process of Krishna conscious activities, 9 of which I just mentioned, helps in that revival, helps to resuscitate the soul back truly to life. So, one who is unable to live for a moment without Krishna consciousness cannot but think of Krishna 24 hours a day, being engaged in devotional service by those 9 forms that I just mentioned. Such activities are all auspicious and full of spiritual potencies, which make the devotee, that's all us, perfect in self-realization, so that his only desire is to achieve the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a devotee undoubtedly approaches the Lord without difficulty. This is called yoga. The word yoga doesn't just mean touching your fingertips to your toes. It means a lot more than that. It doesn't mean turning upside down, although that could be a part of it. Yoga means to unite. Remember I used the word a few seconds ago? Unite. Unite what with what? to unite the soul. All of us are souls. We're not bodies. The bodies is simply like a temple in which we, the soul, live. And the living is done right here in the heart area. So there is the soul, which is right in the heart, and right beside the soul, there is the super soul. Just like we have man and Superman. We all know Superman, don't we? I grew up on Superman. So, therefore, we have super soul. So just as Superman is powerful, can jump over tall buildings faster than a speeding bullet, super soul is far better than Superman. Yeah, well, we cannot have any talking at this time. If there's going to be talking, we'll just call it quits right now. I've been invited here to speak for one purpose, to share with everyone here this knowledge which is going on. I can't speak when I have distractions and diversions, with all due respect to those who are diverting. Okay? So if you have to speak, we do have an internet. And if you want to hear this on the internet, you can do so without either distracting me or diverting anyone else in the temple. And I mean this again with all due respect. You can do it on your smartphone, you can do it on your computer. It means it's available now. There was a time when we didn't have all these facilities. So please, give me a break. I need it in order to do my job, all right? If you wanted somebody to fix your car and he's got his tools in his hands and you keep distracting him while he's trying to turn the nut, and then he's trying to bolt, and he never gets the job done, and then it's half done, and then what happens is that you get into your car and it doesn't work. So the analogy is that after I speak, when you walk out this door, you say, what did he say? What was that all about? And I've been to many of those classes, and I've given many of those classes. So getting back to the important point of this talk, and I thank you for your cooperation and help, and I apologize for any offense that it may sound like I'm making, and if it is, again, my deepest apology. It is not my desire to leave anyone with a feeling of distaste or upset or rejection. Okay, so getting back now to the beginning, I like the beginning from the translation. The translation goes as follows. Yes, but those who always worship me, Krishna is speaking now, with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack, and I preserve what they have. So, in few words, it means that if we worship Krishna with exclusive devotion, it means he's our all in all. It means if we understand that he's omnipotent, all-powerful, he's omniscient, he knows everything. He's everywhere present. He's in my heart, he's in your heart, your heart, your heart, all hearts. He knows everything, and he's everywhere present, including every atom of creation. He has all the different opulences. He's most beautiful. He's most wealthy. He owns everything. We may think we're wealthy, you know, maybe I have a few $1 million or so, and I think I'm really getting up there, another 2 million to go, and I'll just reach 5. There's nothing. To Krishna, it's like less than a millionth of 1 penny. It's nothing. And we have to be thinking like that, because when we think in terms of how great Krishna is, it takes away all our false pride. You think I'm big, I'm great, I'm wonderful, I'm applaudable, everyone loves me, everybody looks up to me, everyone compliments me. Nothing. When you're dead, it'll all be finished. There'll be 100 others replacing us. But Krishna is irreplaceable. Okay? You can't replace him, because there's only one who is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. There's only one who is most beautiful, most wealthy, most powerful and strong, most famous. People are still talking about him. People today are still reading books about him, like this book I wrote. It's called The Supreme Mystic. Some of you may have already read it. It's all about the, it's a biographical novel about the early years of Lord Krishna. As the picture shows, when Krishna's a little baby, and there's a big storm, and his stepfather, excuse me, foster father, is taking him across a river so that he can be prevented from being harmed from a demonic ruler who would like to kill Krishna. So the important point here is that by reading a book of this sort, and it was written in a certain way so that persons who are familiar with the what is called the novelistic type of writing, in which the author doesn't just tell you about something, but involves you in the story. So involving can you become that you don't want to go to sleep at night. How many, I know I've had that experience. I mean, I just had to know what was going to happen in the next chapter. You know, it's called the suspense thriller type of, well, I've got plenty of that here. So, better, if you want to go to sleep, better start start reading early, because what will happen is that if finally, after 4 hours, your eyes may tire and you may then be ready for rest. So now the important point about, I've already said that Krishna is, as I said, he's also most renounced. Renounced means he's detached. Nothing in this world can captivate Krishna. Nothing. No person. No one's beauty. The only thing that can captivate Krishna or capture Krishna is the love of devotees. That's what he thrives on. That's what he feeds on. So when devotees love him purely, sincerely, deeply, when they love him in that manner, undemandingly, giving and giving and giving of themselves without any expectation of any return, they give it because they feel that Krishna deserves their love. Why deserves? Well, we're sitting here. Is the ceiling falling down? No, it's there. Krishna is letting us all sit together and share in each other's company. So there's no, in about a half hour, there'll be lots of food, lots of prasadam. Nobody's going to be even standing there with a cash register asking you for anything. It's given by the grace of God. So God is giving us the grace of food. He's giving us the grace of clothing. He's giving us shelter. We have a place to stay. He gives us our health. He gives us strength. He gives us guidance in the form of books and also from within. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give them the understanding by which they may come to me. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So what we can't figure out through our own minds, Krishna is there if we are dedicated, if we're devoted, if we are sincerely trying to please him. That is what love is all about. Some of you have been mothers and fathers. So we all know that when you want to please your child, you want to get a little smile out of him. So there's so many ways you can do that. You know, you give him a little Snicker bar, or you tickle him a little bit, or you dandle him up and down, or you wrestle with him. So he starts laughing and giggling and doing all these kind of things. And he's very happy with that. So we like to make our children happy. We like to make our friends happy. We like to make our students happy in different ways. So when Krishna sees that we try to increase his bliss, now I want to be very clear on this point. You can't really make Krishna happy. He's always happy. He is the source of all happiness. No one makes Krishna happy, but when you manifest pure love for him, and that love penetrates to the very core of his heart, he feels that love. And so the joy that he naturally has, he's the source of all joy. He's the beginning of it. All joy, all love, all sweetness, all goodness, all niceness. Krishna is the source of all that and so much more. So you can't give him happiness, but what we can do is that we can add to his happiness. And when he sees that we're trying our very best to give him pleasure in any one of or all of the 9 forms of devotional service that I just mentioned a few moments ago, and I'll repeat them. By hearing about the Lord, I'll go over them and then I'll comment on each one so that we know how we can use these. Hearing about the Lord, chanting about the Lord, remembering about Krishna, offering prayers to Krishna, worshiping Krishna, serving his feet, the lotus feet. They're like lotuses. They're very beautiful. And the whole fragrance of his body is like a guru. So it is very, very pleasurable to even be in his company. Rendering other services, cultivating friendship with the Lord. All these help to increase the already established bliss or ecstasy or happiness that he has. It's like intensifying it, okay? For example, let us just say, I don't know how many of us here like chocolate milk. When I was a kid, that's what I loved. I thrived on it. So my mother would give me this chocolate milk, and then one day she put a little more chocolate syrup in it. And then I said, ooh, this is good. This is different. So she got a little more happiness, a little more pleasure out of me. So I said, I want that brand. Well, it was the same brand, but she just put more Hershey syrup into it. That's all. So anyway, what happened was that, so what she did is she intensified my pleasure. That's all. So my pleasure became greater. And then 3 weeks later, she put a little bit more in. You say, wow, this is getting better every few weeks. So now, similarly, using this kind of an analogy, the purer our love is, the sweeter our love is, the more surrendered our love is. Surrendered means, as Krishna says, abandon all varieties of different religions. You just surrender unto me. What does it mean to surrender? It's important to know the meaning of these words. To surrender means, well, in a war, okay, you have 2 sides fighting one another. If one side throws up his arms or waves a white flag, he's surrendering. It means no more fight. Okay? It's the same thing. We don't fight with Krishna. How do we normally fight with Krishna? Well, Krishna is God. Krishna is powerful. Krishna is great. Krishna is grand. Krishna is amazing. So if you try to be more powerful, more amazing, more grand, more awesome than he is, then you're competing with him. You're not cooperating. You're not serving. You're not surrendering. If I surrender to you, then I ask you, okay, tell me what you want me to do because I'm yours. Isn't that what surrender means? You know, what would you like me to do? But if I'm not surrendering to you, then I stand with my chin up and saying, no, I'm not going to surrender to you. So we're competitors at that point. So in spiritual life, we can gain so much mercy, so much grace, so much sweetness, so much kindness from Krishna if we stop fighting with him and stop trying to impersonate him. So much, you know, we want to be a big this, we want to be a singer or maybe actor or accountant or lawyer or this or that. It's okay to strive to be as best as we can, as long as it's done not for our own personal glory, but it is done for the glory of God, who is the source. If you're a great actor, great singer, or great drummer, or a great, what you call cloth manufacturer, we all have different trades. If you're a great teacher, if all this is done in the name of glorifying God, it's a good thing. That's what turns Krishna on. He said, well, look, he's working so hard. And he's not even looking to get something for himself. All he wants to do is glorify me. This happened, of course, in the Rajasuya sacrifice. King Yudhishthira, in the Rajasuya sacrifice, He did it for no other reason. That means he became the emperor of the world, but he had to defeat the most powerful king and emperor that was in existence then, and that was done by his brother Bhima. And so he became the person who prevailed at the Raja Surya. It's a sacrifice in which one is declared or claimed to be the emperor. An emperor is higher than a king. They're not the same. Emperor means a person who is above all the kings, at least in certain region. So King Yudhishthira, he stated that the only reason I want to do this sacrifice and declare to the world that there is no one greater or higher or better or grander or bigger than Krishna, because he is my all in all. He is the kind of king that you want to have, not the kind of president you have here today. Totally different mentality. That king was so full of charitableness, was so full of sweetness, so full of kindness, so full of goodness, that everyone loved him, except his enemies. When anybody loved him, the enemies who wanted to be above him, yeah, they wanted to kill him, and they tried. But since Krishna is in charge, they could not accomplish that. So again, coming back to the point about love and how to gain Krishna's protection. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, in all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my, what's the last word? Grace, yes. He said, if, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, me, mine, I. If you act in that manner, try to compete with me, try to disregard me, try to jump over me, you will be lost, he said. That's the fate of all persons who try to be God or dissuade others from worshiping God. What happens is that they fall down by Krishna's grace, often very painfully. So in this world, there are three kinds of miseries. There are miseries which come from our own body and mind. There are miseries which come from other people's bodies and minds. And there are miseries which come from catastrophes and natural disasters. These are all coming, and we never know when they're going to hit us. So the question that many persons have, since you're stating that Krishna is ultimately responsible for all of these things, how can we get his protection? You just said, I said, that Krishna is omnipotent. That means all-powerful. If he's all-powerful and the mudslides are coming from all over, how can I somehow persuade him to protect my home from that slide which is threatening? So Srila Prabhupada states right at the beginning. He states from the very beginning, right here, sorry, one who is unable to live for a moment without Krishna consciousness cannot but think of Krishna 24 hours a day, being engaged in devotional service by the 9 forms that I already said. So that's the secret. Now the chief form in this day and age is chanting and hearing. Chanting what? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Come on, let me hear it. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah, these names are none different from Krishna. And when we recite the name Hara, which is the name of Krishna's eternal consort, behind me, the female, Hare, Krishna is the name of Krishna, which means all attractive. And Rama means all pleasing. So God is all pleasing, he's all attractive, and Hara or Radha She is his chief, best, and greatest devotee. He states that there is no devotee like Radha who can increase. Remember I talked about the intensification of his bliss, the chocolate syrup, you remember? You put more chocolate syrup, it gets tastier. So she put a lot of chocolate syrup in his drink, if you will. So she knew how to increase his pleasure, his happiness. And this pleasure is not have anything to do with anything materially sexual. It's all takes place in the heart area. So she knows how to increase the joyfulness in Krishna's heart through the purity of her love, the exclusiveness of her love, the one-pointedness of her love for Krishna. There is no one else that she wants to even think about. Only Krishna. And that's all she wants to hear about. Only Krishna. And she will not listen to anything else because Krishna is her life and soul. And actually, since Krishna is in our bodies, and he's running our bodies, operating our bodies, how is all this going on? It's not going by itself. For example, you take a computer, okay? Put it on the table, and then say to the computer, start. It's going to start? Why not? Needs to connect with the source power source, right? Similarly, the same thing. Our bodies are connected with a power source. The source, the original source, is the soul. That's who we are. You're a soul, you're a soul. We can't talk like this, my soul is this. There's no such my soul. I am the soul. You are the soul. Not I have a soul. This is the first step in God realization. I don't have a soul. I am the soul. Okay? We all got that idea? We are souls. We do not have souls. The soul is had by the body. It's inside the body. That's it. But we are not the body. We are the eternal soul. Krishna mentions that in the Bhagavad Gita. For the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. It has not come into being. It does not come into being. It will not come into being. It is unborn, eternal, ever-existing, and primeval. It is not slain when the body is slain. That which pervades the entire body you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to slay the imperishable soul. So, isn't that reassuring? Even if the body dies, we don't die. Where do we go? We go to the next body that we have to go to in consequence of, or as a result of, our previous activities. Every action has a reaction. You have a ball, you throw it against the wall, it comes back. Okay? Action, reaction. So everything that we do in our lives will have a reaction. Some of those reactions will come right here in this lifetime. Some of those reactions will come in a future lifetime because they all could not fit into the program of the reactions that we needed to receive for this lifetime. For example, we're supposed to get married twice. Shouldn't be, but we're supposed to be married twice. That may be part of the program. Or we maybe we gave a lot of charity in a previous life, and we did it without any desire for any return. We did it because we wanted to help someone. We wanted to see their relief. We wanted to see their happiness. So, but we never got. Krishna never paid us off. He never gave us anything. But he planned for this lifetime, the next lifetime, that the money that we gave, which we gave undemandingly, charitably, lovingly, will come back to us. So one day a friend of ours, he's just for fun. He never gambles or anything. He goes to the 7-Eleven shop and he buys a lottery ticket. Throws down $1 just for fun. Okay, and he doesn't even keep it. He says, "Hey, why don't you take this? Nothing's gonna happen anyway, right? Right? I got a 1 in 50 million chance." So sure enough, what happens is he wins. He wins $20 million. He gave more than $20 million in the previous life. but God will make up that amount too at another lottery. So the important point is that Krishna gives us back. So in the next life, we will get back what Krishna feels we should have as a result of what we gave. So he may give us pleasures or means by which, like money, which can bring pleasures, or it may somebody may donate a house to us. Somebody we may have a terrible disorder. Maybe we have a heart problem. Maybe we have a terminal cancer problem. Maybe we have a brain problem, what you call a lump in the brain someplace. We have some terrible problems in our bodies, and no doctor can cure us. We've gone to him, her, we've taken 10,000 different potions and pills and you name it, and it got even worse from them. So still, and we're wondering, are we going to hang around here in this place for more? When am I going to die? And then somebody comes, you don't even know the person, you're in the hospital, and the person comes in, he's just a well-wisher. You know, I mean, he's a monk from one of the monasteries. How do you feel? You feel in pain? Oh, I wish I could get out of this body. No, you want to keep living. I'm going to pray for you. So he prays, and he gets down on his knees and puts his palms together, and then hello? Excuse me, we do have well, excuse me. Am I in India or America? Everybody knows what I'm talking about. When you're in India, you don't say anything because it's custom. So, but thank you very much for not continuing your talking. I'm trying to get a point across. Can somebody tell me where I was where I was in the story? That's why I don't like talking. Well, where was I in the story? Anybody have a? Yes, please. A little louder. Huh? Yes, monk in the hospital. Okay, monk, not monkey. Okay. So anyway, monk is there, puts his palms together, and he prays, and nothing happens. And then he says, "May God bless you." Walks out, and no one ever sees him. A half hour later, she's totally cured, completely. Doctors do all the radiologies and things like that. Why? Because Krishna wanted her to be healed because some of the very meritorious, valuable things that she did in the course of last life, this life, and so he feels that she deserves to receive a divine healing. You can't figure Krishna out. Don't try to do it. You go crazy doing it. Better just accept it and be thankful from getting it, and try to do something good or nice for somebody else. Okay? That's the main point. So this process that I mentioned before, again, hearing, chanting, and remembering, this is what we need to do. Hear what? Well, you can hear Srila Prabhupada's nice lectures, or you can hear my narrations of his books. I've narrated most of them with music and sound effects and so forth. And you can get them, most of them are outside on the table there. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, teachings of Lord Kapila, teachings of Queen Kunti. So many I've narrated. So it's so easy. You can be driving for 4 hours and you just listen to the books. So this way, the eyes then have a good use instead of just looking out at that boring road with the white line going on and on and on. I know I used to have dreams of those white lines when I would go through a whole night. So anyway, instead of that, you can actually hear. You can hear the Ramayana. You can hear different from the Srimad Bhagavatam, the story of Prahlad Maharaj. So I recommend very highly to get those. And now I download them. All you have to do is just let me know. Send me your email address or go online, and you can Amala-bhakkta.com, and you can see all the things that I have there, and you can order them there. So many of them are free, so you can enjoy and you can get to see exactly what they are. There is no better, greater way to learn than by hearing. That's not just my opinion. That's Srila Prabhupada's opinion. He said hearing is the chief means of learning. Because sound makes a deep impression, whereas sight makes a thin impression. For example, I'm looking at this and I see the words across here. Okay, that makes a certain amount of impression on my mind. Now, if you have some mud and you take let's just take a quarter, let's just take a feather. You drop the feather on the mud. So what kind of an impression are you going to get on the mud? Virtually none, because it's too light to make an impression. So you take a quarter and you drop it on the mud and it goes into the mud and it makes some type of an impression. That's what hearing is about, in contrast to seeing and reading. So hearing is a very, very wonderful way. In fact, actors and actresses, when they have to do their lines, many of them, one actor I heard, he says the line 18 times, and then he moves on to the next line. Does that for 18 times, then does them both, 18, 18. I learned something. That's how I learned a lot of verses. I don't do it 18, but I can manage with 10. So anyway, getting back to the important point. So hearing these books, hearing about Krishna, all about his pastimes, hearing the philosophy, hearing the activities, chanting the holy name. Now, those of us who are devotees who have taken initiation, we chant 16 rounds of the 16 words. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so those 16 words are chanted again and again and again. Actually 1,728 times. Okay, so what happens is that the mind, which has become subjected to those sounds, it's like a bar of soap. Okay, wet soap, muddy arm. Take the wet soap on the muddy arm. What happens? The arm gets clean. The mind gets clean. The heart gets clean. The intelligence gets clean. All these get clean, and we are able to understand better and better these wonderful books that Srila Prabhupada has so mercifully given us. So sometimes persons tell me, I can't understand these. That's because you have too much cow dung in your brain. You have to get rid of the cow dung. Yeah, the cow dung is it's very easy to get rid of. All you do is just you start chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So it washes. Wash, 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 wash. And what happens is that as it gets washed, we can understand. It's like when you look through a window and the window is fogged, or the window has dust, the window has dirt. Why don't you let us all hear it? Come on, give us a preview. I mean, it must be more important than what I have to say, no? If it you wouldn't be saying it loudly as you are. So please either give me a break or take it outside. Either way, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. It's for their benefit, okay? That's the way we do it here. Getting back to the point that now I have to start something. Good. We have to keep a place marker here. What did I last say? What? Huh? Yeah, cleansing, thank you. See, we have a temple president. That's why he's the temple president. He remembers. So yeah, we cleanse the mind, we cleanse the intelligence, and also even the body gets cleansed because of all the good vibrations that are traveling through the body. So when that happens, you see, when that happens, we can then begin to understand what this philosophy is all about. And when we chant and we associate with Krishna through the chanting process, like Hare Krishna, when you associate with pure bliss, which is what Krishna is, what that results in, we become blissful, we become joyful, we become cheerful, we become uplifted, we become so happy because Krishna is making his self known to us. Remember I said super soul here, soul here. So when Krishna is happy to see that you're glorifying him, that we're praising him, we're honoring him. When he sees that, he responds, he reciprocates. How does he respond and reciprocate? He shoots his bliss right into our soul, and the soul feels it, and it spreads. It spreads where? From the soul to the intelligence, from the intelligence to the mind, from the mind to the senses. The whole body, mind, senses, intelligence are literally trembling in ecstasy. Some of the experiences of ecstasy, a person may become stunned, but perspire profusely. Hairs on the arms, neck may go up. The color may change, may become very blanched, very white, almost like ghostly. The person is just so awed, so uplifted. Person may even fall to the ground and start rolling around on the ground. He's feeling so much ecstasy, he can't even control it. Looks like he's having an epileptic fit. In fact, Lord Chaitanya, when he would go into an ecstasy, sometimes people would think, was he having an ecstasy? So he said, yeah, I'm having an epileptic fit. Don't bother me. So all of these these are just some of the, or one may be completely unconscious of the external world and totally conscious of the internal world. The world, like the one behind me in the picture, that is the real world, the true world, the spiritual world. And in that world, everyone is ecstatic, everyone is peaceful, everyone is full of love, everyone is full of joy, everyone is happy, because there is no envy, there's no lust, there's no anger, there's no greed, there's no illusion, there's no madness, there's no gluttony, there's no sluggishness and laziness. Everything is pure and peaceful and great. And everyone here is meant for that. That's where we originally came from. And I'm speaking in such a way right now, and I'm praying and begging and hoping that everyone will want to go back to that wonderful, blissful, peaceful, happy place. And once we have that, no one can ever take it away. It's yours forever to keep. Okay? I know many of you wondering, well, what are we doing here in the first place? That's another lecture. So I was planning to tell a little story, but we're just about on time for Prasadam will be starting, I think, right in a few seconds. So does anyone have any questions about anything that I have said tonight? And again, I apologize to anyone who I may have offended, which I never intended, but I was looking out for the care of everyone who's here who wants to hear the talk. So my apologies. Okay, any questions? Somebody wants to come up and give me the question. No questions? The story. Too late. You have to check with my boss up there. I don't go beyond the parameters of the Sunday feast.
Well, we can always have those that want to go to the feast, go to the feast. Those that want to stay here and listen to the story, you can give them the story.
Okay, the story will take approximately 3 to 5 minutes. Yes? The question first.
Soul and super soul?
Yes.
And intelligence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to differentiate them and explain them? Okay, the question is the difference between the soul, the super soul, and the intelligence. Well, first of all, the soul is the living force. It's I hinted at it, and I didn't get too deeply into it. It's what's running the whole body. In other words, we call it the consciousness that starts here, and the shine, like the sunshine, we have the sun and then the shine. So we have the soul, and the shine of the soul is consciousness. And consciousness is working through the entire body and enabling all the parts to work and to function and to enable us to do the things that we want to do. If for some reason or other, something like you have a part of the body becomes gangrenous, so what happens is that it blocks the flow of that energy from the soul. So what happens is the part dies because it does not get the necessary energy which keeps the thing running. So that's the soul, and it is the super soul. Super soul is literally in charge of the entire body. Can cure you, can make you sick, can do anything and everything, but he has a lot of agents helping him out that we call them demigods. Okay, but the important point is the super soul is God, another form of God. That's all. So God is in every being, in every speck of creation, in every atom of creation. There is no place where God does not exist. Now, intelligence is one of the. There are three aspects to the subtle, what we call the subtle body. It's called mind. Mind is three things. The mind is the thinking, feeling, and willing aspect of our thought process. Thinking, feeling, and willing. Okay? And then there is the intelligence. Intelligence, what that does, it helps us to understand a problem. Sometimes you get a problem, okay, and you can't figure it out immediately. And you stare at it, you concentrate on it, you look at it this way, that way, you leave it alone for a little minute. So that part puts things together so that you can see them in a cohesive, understandable way. And then usually what we say, oh, yeah, of course. You know, that kind of, oh, of course. Why couldn't I see that immediately? So that's what the intelligence does. It's the determination faculty to help us to understand how things fit together. This is what all the scientists and physicists and all that, they got all these formulas and so forth. They're trying to put together certain things, and they cogitate on it, and then finally they can understand that. So that's the intelligence. And mind, what the intelligence puts together something, and it drops it into the mind, and the mind uses it for general interaction, speaking, writing, and the like. Okay? Got that? Okay, now the story. Do you still want to stay for the story? Oh, you got a question. Okay. Yes, please.
I don't understand how Krishna is creation and at the same time is aloof.
You want to know? Can you repeat that, please? Yeah.
Yes, he's saying how Krishna can be the creator and then at the same time be aloof from that creation.
Do you chant Hare Krishna regularly? Huh? Yes? You do chant? Okay. How long have you been chanting? If I may ask.
Since 1982.
Oh, that's wonderful. Good. Okay. In answer to your question, Krishna is all-powerful. That's the first thing. So you want to know how Krishna can create and at the same time, I can't see you because he's standing right in front of my face. How he can create and at the same time do, what was that?
Be aloof.
Be aloof. Yes, well, it's quite simple actually. When one has no material desires, one is naturally aloof because you don't desire anything. So his only desires, as I mentioned throughout the class, is that his only desire is to have interactions or exchanges with his devotees in a loving fashion. So that's his only, if you want to call it a desire, he desires to have loving exchanges with his devotees because he's already blissful, but he likes to intensify and increase his bliss. As far as the not being affected by this world, he has no interest in it, except to help persons get out of it and come back home, back to Godhead. So that's why and also yourself, or myself, or anyone here who has achieved some degree of detachment. Detachment means I'm lessening and lessening and lessening my material desire. I have no material desire. Example, let's just say you're watching a particular television show, but as you're chanting japa and you're getting pure and so forth, you're losing interest in that show. And then finally, after 3 years, you don't want to watch the show anymore. Something there doesn't attract you anymore. The purity there doesn't fit with the impurity of the show. Does that make sense to you? I hope. Okay. Well,
so Maharaj, can we stop here? I think people are leaving to go.
That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah. So if we can go.
We will
so
stop
thank you
now.
very much. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
So I'd just like to do one thing. I'd like to introduce to you Padmasana. This is Padmasana here. She's 14 today, and her parents are sponsoring the feast on her behalf. A very special child. So let's chant the Hare Krishna mantra on her behalf today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. We made her day today. So she's very, very special, very, very sweet. And she's very happy today to be here at the temple. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Haribo.